What's up guys, welcome back. In this video, we're gonna be doing a complete print-on-demand Shopify tutorial for beginners. So we're gonna set up the entire thing from scratch. First, we're gonna review what print-on-demand is. We're gonna talk about the different platforms we're gonna need to set up a print-on-demand business. Then we're gonna dive into the actual setup process. So we're gonna be setting up the entire online store. We're gonna be designing products together, going over all of the back-end settings. And in the end of the video, we're also gonna be talking about different marketing strategies that you can use to drive traffic to your store and get customers. So by the end of this video, the idea is that you have a fully functional print-on-demand Shopify store to begin selling print-on-demand products and making money online. This has got to be my favorite business model out there. It's a very creative way to make money online. And I'm also going to be showing you different AI tools that you can use to make the process easier, especially if you're not super inclined towards design. So this is going to be a complete video. We're going to go over a lot of different things. It's going to be packed with knowledge and step-by-step instructions. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Now, before we dive in, if you still haven't signed up for Shopify, I'm also going to go ahead and leave the best current deal for getting started with Shopify down in the description. Right now, it's at $1 for your first 3 months. All right, so what is print-on-demand dropshipping? So this is basically a completely digital business model, which allows you to sell custom designed products like clothing or accessories with your own designs, but without having to manage any of those products physically. So you don't really need to have anything with you physically. Everything that you're doing is going to be digital, but the products themselves are going to exist and they are going to be shipped to your customer. So this is basically how it works. You're going to create an online store and you're going to create designs for your products. And then you're going to link that store to a print-on-demand supplier. Now that print-on-demand supplier is the one that's going to have all of the blank products in their warehouses. So for example, you could create designs for a t-shirt and your print-on-demand supplier is going to have that t-shirt in blank in their warehouse. So every time you sell that t-shirt in your online store, your supplier is going to be automatically notified. And they're then going to print your design on the blank product and ship it to your customer for you with your store name in the package. So you're selling products one by one and you don't have to invest anything in inventory because you're only paying for the production and the printing and the shipping of that product after you've already sold it. So there's no need to invest anything and you're only investing product by product after you've already made an order. So that's the beauty of print-on-demand dropshipping. You don't have to invest anything and you get to sell fully custom branded designed products. So here's what you're going to need to set up a print-on-demand dropshipping business. First, you're going to need a platform where you can set up your online store. So in this video, we're going to be using Shopify. Shopify is very easy to use. It's very intuitive and it has all the tools that we're going to need to set up, manage, and grow our online store. We're going to go over this entire thing step by step, so I'm going to show you exactly how it works. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the best current deal for getting started with Shopify down in the description. Right now, you can get started for only $1 on your first 3 months. So it's an excellent opportunity. You can set up your online store and start selling for basically just $1. So whenever you're ready, make sure to find that link down below and create your Shopify account. So quick overview, inside Shopify, we're basically going to be importing the products from our supplier. So we're going to have all our product listings. We're going to manage our catalog, set up our store prices, and we're also going to design the websites. We're also going to be setting up payments, shipping settings, and even things like discounts and different marketing strategies. So whenever you're ready, you can find the $1 Shopify link down in the description. So let's go ahead and create our Shopify account. We're going to enter the email address and click on Start Free Trial. All right, now we're basically going to set up a Shopify account. All right, so come up with a password and click on Create Account. Now Shopify is going to ask you a couple of things to help you set up your dashboard. So here it's asking us where we would like to sell. So we're going to choose Online Store. Later on, you can also choose social media if you want to, and even a retail store if this ends up growing into a physical business. Now we're going to click on Next. And since we are just getting started, we're going to click on I'm not selling yet. And here we have to choose what we plan to sell. Now, you don't have to worry about this. This is completely flexible and you can also change it later. So right now we're going to choose print-on-demand products and click on Next. All right, so now here Shopify is asking us which plan we would like to try. So as you can see right now, it's only going to cost $1 per month, and that's going to go on for 3 months. So to set up a print-on-demand business, all we're going to need really is a basic plan. So we're going to go ahead and select Try Basic. Now we have to enter our credit card details. Now we're going to click on Subscribe for $1. All right, so now we are subscribed to the basic plan. So here you can enter your business address. If you don't have a business set up yet, you can just enter your personal address and you're going to be treated as an individual instead of a company. All right, so here we are inside the Shopify dashboard. So as you can see, it's laid out very intuitively, so it's super easy to navigate. So later on here, we're going to be designing our online store, and here we're going to be managing our products. So now the next step is to come up with products. So for this, we're going to need a print-on-demand supplier. That's how you're going to get the blank products and import them into your Shopify store. So to get those products, we're going to be using Printify. So Printify is one of the most well-known print-on-demand suppliers out there. The platform is also super easy to use, and they also have a lot of different products that we can add to our store. And by the way, Printify is completely free to use, and you only have to pay per each product that you order. So whenever you're ready, I'm going to leave Printify linked here in the description. So go ahead and create your Printify account. And now Printify is just asking you a couple things to help you get started. So since we're new, we're going to choose the first option. Now, Printify wants to know what you have experience with. So like this, they can better guide you inside the platform if there is anything that you need extra help with. I actually have experience with all of these different things, but I'm going to choose I'm just starting out to help you set up everything in case you're a complete beginner and you have no idea about any of this. So let's click on next. And now we are choosing where we would like to sell. So if you want to sell internationally, we're going to click on I want to sell globally and click on next. And finally, how did you hear about us? So in your case, it's got to be YouTube. So we're going to choose YouTube. All right, amazing. Here we are inside the Printify dashboard. So now the next step is connecting our Printify account with our Shopify account, which is how we are going to automatically send all orders received on Shopify to Printify for fulfillment. So we're basically going to be linking both platforms together. So over here, you're going to see connect your store. So we're going to click on connect now. Now we're going to click on see other sales channels. And then over here, we're going to go to platforms and choose Shopify. So now we have to enter our Shopify store URL. So we're going to go back to our Shopify dashboard. So for me, that's here on another tab. We're going to go to settings. And over here, we're going to go to domains. So now we have to copy this address. This is our current store URL. So Shopify is just going to assign you a random URL like this, and it's something that we're going to be setting up later. So for now, we're just going to click on this and copy this address up here. Now we're going to go back to Printify and we're going to enter it right here. Now let's click on connect. And here we're basically going to be installing the Printify app into Shopify. So this is basically how Shopify connects to other platforms. You install the other platform's app into Shopify. And there are lots of different kinds of apps that you can install to increase the functionality of your store. And I'm also going to be recommending you some of those apps later in the video. So for now, let's click on install app. And by the way, Printify is completely free to use, and you're only going to be paying for the products that you order. So there's no subscription fee associated with it. All right, so here we are inside the Printify dashboard within our Shopify dashboard. So as you can see here, we have a huge catalog of products. Printify has a lot of different things that you can sell. It's not just clothing. They also have tons of different accessories. They have home decor items, and they also have food, health, and beauty products. So they literally have coffee. You could sell coffee if you want to with Printify. As you can see, you could just create designs for these coffees and you could start your own coffee brand. And they have a few different blends here. So if you've ever dreamt of having your own coffee brand or a coffee shop, hey, this is a pretty good option. They also have supplements. So as you can see here, there's lots of different supplements. They have whey protein. They have all sorts of fitness supplements, mushroom blends, and also typical supplements like magnesium and things like that. There's also hair vitamins, sleep gummies. It's just really, really cool to see all of this here. So I might set up my own supplement store. And we also have here lots of different accessories of phone cases, bags, socks, pet accessories, car accessories. Really, you can really explore here and figure out what it is that you're excited to create. So for this video, we're going to be keeping it simple and we're going to set up a clothing store. So I'm going to get started with some t-shirts. Here you can see some products also have express delivery enabled, so they can ship as fast as in 1 day. This is really, really amazing, and it's just great for your customer service. So as you can see, the prices here are really good. And if you compare this with other suppliers, I will say that Printify has very competitive pricing. So it's going to be easier for you to build a business that's actually profitable. And we're going to be going a little bit deeper into the product pricing later on. So the idea now is that you browse through this catalog and see what it is that you want to sell. And don't put too much pressure on yourself here because print on demand really is about testing. You're probably going to have to test lots of different designs until you hit something that's really selling and that's resonating with your audience. So feel free to explore and try different things. There's no pressure here, and you can always change everything later if you want to. So we're going to get started with a t-shirt to keep it simple. I'm going to click on this one. And here we're going to click on Start Designing. So here we have the product designer inside Printify. And if we click up here, we have the preview. So here you're going to find different mockups once you have your product design. Now you do get the option to create things here inside Printify, but we're going to take it a step further and I'm going to show you my favorite way of doing this, which is also probably going to be more high quality and more unique. So first things first, for our print-on-demand store to be successful, the idea is to create a branded experience. So you really don't want to have a store that's messy and full of different styles and different designs. The idea is to create a catalog that's cohesive and that ties well together, that's really an experience and that people can identify with as a brand, something that's memorable and that they can remember. So we're really looking to create a unique brand experience. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, you don't necessarily have to stick with the first thing that you create. You're free to explore and try different things until you come up with a style that you're happy with. So there's not a big pressure on this right now, but definitely keep in mind that later on, the goal is to create a brand. It's to create a unique experience for your customers. That's also how we're going to be able to design a beautiful store and keep things in a very nice aesthetic. So just keep that in mind as you explore. So to create things like product designs and your logo, we're going to be using a platform named Kittl. This is personally my favorite design tool. It's excellent for print on demand. It's very easy to use, and they also have super advanced features. So if you want to use Kittl, I'm also going to leave it linked down below, along with a discount code that you can use if you want to go for a paid subscription. You can get started for free though. So here we are inside Kittl. As you can see, they have lots of different categories here. And they have lots of different templates that you can use to start your design with. So you could basically choose one of these templates, change it a little bit, and use it as a print-on-demand design. You can also use Kittl to design a logo. So here they also have different logo templates. So let's go ahead and create a logo for our store. I'm going to pick this template to get started. And here we've been taken to the Kittl editor. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to change the text. This is going to be the name of my store. Now this is like super heavily distorted here, so that's this effect that you're going to find down here. So I'm going to click on it and make a few changes here. Let's see what happens. Ooh. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. Still very twisted. Let's see what we can do. All right, that's gonna work for now. And I think this looks pretty good. Now I'm actually gonna change the background color because I don't want this thing to be black. We're gonna have a white background in the online store, so I wanna make sure that I export a logo with a white background as well. Okay, now as you can see, we have this texture on top of it, which is this over here. So I'm just gonna click on delete. And now I'm actually gonna make it a different color. Let's go for blue. So actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate this artboard. Let's select our font here and change the color. So I'm going to select this one and I'm going to go over here to change the background's color. And as you can see now we have two different artboards here. All right, I would say this looks like a pretty decent logo. I am a little bit concerned about these small details here. since logos are usually more simple. You want to have a logo that works on any surface and anywhere in any situation. So sometimes having too many small details like this is not the best idea for your logo. So I'm going to keep it though. I'm going to run a test with it. Let's see what happens. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the artboard once again. And I'm going to delete this icon over here. So I just want to have a version that's simple like this. I'm going to do the same thing for the black one. So if we ever need this logo in a black background, we also have a white version. Okay, so here we have 4 different versions of our logo. So if you need some extra help with creating designs, I'm gonna leave another video linked below where I teach you how to use Kittl step by step. I go over all of the different features of the editor, so you really have a good understanding of how to use this platform, whether you want to create logos or print-on-demand designs. So whenever your logo is ready, go up here to download. Now, when you're exporting your logo, also make sure that you remove the background and that you set the quality to 3600 to 3600 since we're going to need a very high resolution. You can also export your logo as an SVG file, which is a file that's basically infinitely expandable in size. So you can zoom in forever and the quality is never going to decrease. So it's recommended that you do both. Make sure to have an SVG file and also a PNG file, depending on where you're going to upload it. So for now, we're going to go with PNG and download. And here we have our logo. All right, so now that we have a logo, we have a brand to start with. Now, if you need some extra help with branding, in the description below, I'm going to leave a link to a free resource that I've prepared, which is a branding guide. And I've designed it to help you understand the basics of branding and how to create an entire brand from scratch. It's completely free, so if you need some extra help, I'm going to leave that link down below. All right, so now that we have a logo, we're gonna go ahead and start creating some product designs. So we're gonna go back to the Kittl homepage. And over here, I'm gonna click on the t-shirts templates. So now I'm gonna look for some templates for my first t-shirt. This one actually looks really cool. Let's click on it. All right, so here we have something pretty interesting. Over here, you're also gonna have all sorts of different elements that you can use for your designs. So if we type palm tree, for example, here we have lots of different icons that we can use. So let's go with this one. Oh, that looks really cool, actually. All right, so I'm imagining that this is a t-shirt. So I'm selecting all of these blocks here so I can move them together. Oh, forgot this one. Okay. I'm gonna put that down here and this one up here. All right, so this looks pretty interesting. So I'm imagining this is gonna look cool in the back of a t-shirt. Now, the idea is I have a black background because I'm imagining I'm gonna design this for a black t-shirt. So if you want to have a white t-shirt, of course, you're gonna go over here and you're gonna put a white color and design accordingly. So this is going to be for a black t-shirt, but we still want to export this with a transparent background because the t-shirt is going to be our background. So we just need the elements with a transparent background. Now I'm also going to duplicate this and I'm going to make a version for a white t-shirt. So I'm going to change the background to white. And here I'm going to select the font and change them to black. All right. Now I'm also going to add a border here. Make it a bit thicker. All right, so this looks pretty interesting. Okay, so here we have 2 different design versions, one for a black t-shirt and one for a white t-shirt. Now let's click on download and click on remove background. Now, because these designs are going to be printed at a very large scale, we need to export this in 300 dpi. That's the highest resolution quality that we need. So we're going to do that by entering 3600 by 3600 over here. All right, so here we have our designs. As you can see, we can zoom in very deeply here. We have a very high quality going on. So let's go back. So now we're going to go back to Printify and we're going to upload this design. So click on upload and select your design. All right, so now the file has been added here to our t-shirt. So here we get to choose the color of the t-shirt. We're going to click on select variants. And here we have all the different options for this t-shirt. We can choose this one, for example. So I'm going to go with black. And here we have it. You can select multiple variants as well if you want to. So if you want to sell a black version, a red version, and a dark chocolate version, for example, you can do that. So just select all of the ones that you want to create a variant for. Now, quick tip, if you select all of these different variants, these products are going to be visible together in the same product listing. So your customer is going to be on the same product page and they're going to be able to choose whether they want the white version or the black version. Now, if you have a very small catalog, what I like to do is create different products for different versions of products. So instead of having different variants in the same product listing, I'll create an individual product listing for each color so that your catalog looks bigger and you can potentially even name them a little bit differently if you want to. So I'm going to go with black for now. And here, if you click on this design, you can expand it if you want to make it a little bit bigger. And just play around with the sizing until it looks good. So right now it's in the front of the t-shirt. And down here you can choose different placements. So let's click on backside and then go here to our library to choose the design. Okay. Let's drag it up here. And this looks pretty good. So I'm going for a bit of a streetwear vibe here. So I'm going to leave it on the back side. And in the front, I'm going to make it small and put it here in the corner. All right, I think that looks really cool. And down here, you're going to see the neck label. So here you can add your own branding. So this is going to be a completely branded t-shirt with your logo on it. So let's click to upload our logo. And here we have it. Now, this actually looks really nice. I'm just doing everything spontaneously and I'm really happy with what's coming out. All right, now we're going to click on preview up here. And here we have our t-shirt. So this is basically a mock-up. It's a digital version of your products that you can use in your online store to sell your products. And it looks very, very realistic. So here you're going to see the back side as well. You can have a folded version if you want to. This looks really good. You even have some hanging versions over here. Wow, I like this. I would wear this t-shirt. And you also have versions with models. So depending on the style that you are going for, these are going to be great model pictures. Maybe they're not going to be as good for your brands. In that case, there are other platforms that you can use to get additional product mockups. One of those platforms is called Placeit. So if you want to do that, I'm going to leave Placeit linked here in the description. But this actually looks pretty good for us to start with. So I'm very happy with this. I'm going to click on Save Product. Now, let's say that you have different colors for your t-shirt. So here I have, for example, a white version and I have a black version. So if we click on the white version, this design is not really working here because now we have a white background. So we're going to click on Make a Specific Design for White. Then we're going to delete this and we're going to upload the other design. All right, so here we have the white version. So I'm going to make it small on the corner once again. And we're going to go to the back side and we're going to replace it as well. All right, now remember to also replace your logo. So we're going to click here on neck label and we're going to change the logo once again. So here we're going to use our other logo version. I'm going to click on upload. And here I have my logo for the white backgrounds. I'm just going to make it a bit bigger. And that looks very good. So let's click on preview. And here we have our white product version. All right, amazing. So here you can see we have 2 different versions for this product. So let's go ahead and click on Save Product. All right, so the next step is adding this product to our Shopify store. So here you can select the different mockups that you want to publish in your store. I'm gonna go with this one as my main one. And then down here, we have our listing details. So here we can set our product title and our product description. Now you can also edit this later inside Shopify if you want to. So if you're not sure yet, you can just leave it as it is. I'm gonna go ahead and name it Liquid Flow T-shirt. And then down here, you're automatically gonna have a product description. And I definitely recommend changing this so that it really fits your brand voice and the unique brand experience that you're looking to create. For now, I'm just gonna leave it as it is. And just a quick reminder, if you need extra help with branding, I have a free branding guide that you can download in the description. That's also gonna help you with things like establishing your brand voice and really coming up with a style that you can stick with. You should also change this because of SEO. So as you can imagine, a lot of different people are creating stores with Printify. So if you don't change your description, it's just gonna be copy and pasted as everyone else's description. And that's gonna hurt your ranking on platforms like Google. So it's very important that you change this and make it unique. And there's also some information here that's not really that useful for our customers. It's a little bit overly technical. And some of this information, like our care instructions, we can also use later and showcase it in a more visual way when we're designing our store. So for now, we're just gonna leave it as it is. And here you also get to add a size guide. Now, in a moment, I'm gonna show you how to add this to your Shopify store in a very amazing, engaging way using a Shopify app named Kiwi Size Chart. So for now, we're gonna enable this just so we have this information. And then later on, I'm gonna show you how you can lay this out in an amazing way in your Shopify store. So we're gonna scroll down here to shipping. And here we have to enable economy shipping. So this is gonna set up your shipping profiles inside Shopify automatically, which is very, very helpful. So here we have to assign it to our shipping profile. So Shopify basically has different shipping profiles as a way to organize and how you establish your shipping prices. So it's very convenient that Printify is just going to do all of that automatically for us. Just make sure that this here says automatically assign a new shipping profile. And then we move over to the product pricing. So here we have all the different variants of our products because we have different sizes. We have small, medium, large, etc. And we also have 2 different colors for each size. So for each small t-shirt, we also have a white version and a black version. So these are your variants. So here we're basically selecting all of the variants that we want to add to our store. So we're gonna just select all of them. So we have all of these different options available. And then here we can see our retail price, our profits margin, and our production cost. So the retail price is basically how much we are selling it for in our Shopify store. The profits is how much money we're actually making on top of that sale after we are charged for the production cost. And the profits margin is basically the percentage of our profits. It's basically how much percentage of money we are actually making after selling and paying for supply. And the production cost is how much Printify is going to charge us for printing and shipping this product. So here we already have an automatic price that's been added as a recommendation. So here we're going to be charging our customers $27. It's going to cost us $16.23. And our profit is going to be $10.82. So we have a 40% profit margin, which is very good. I'm actually going to increase this price a little bit since I have a bit more of a high-end streetwear aesthetic going on here. So I'm going to sell it for $39.99. Now my profit is going to be $23 per sale. Now my production cost is still $16, so my profit has increased to $23 per sale, and I have a 59% profit margin. So make sure to research your style and your audience a little bit so that you have competitive pricing. Now we're going to scroll down. And here we have the product settings. So if you don't want to publish this product on Shopify just yet, and you want to just leave it as a draft, you can click on Hide in Store. And here you can choose your variant visibility. Here we're going to choose only show in stock variants. So if Printify happens to run out of stock on a certain item, it's not going to be available for purchase in your online store. And here we can choose which Shopify collection we are going to add this product to. Now, to do this, first you have to create collections inside Shopify, which we haven't done just yet. So for now, we're going to leave it as blank and we're going to click on publish. All right, so here we have our first product. So if we go over here to products, here you're going to be able to see your first product listing. So let's click on it. Here we have our product's title, our product description, which right now has this crazy looking size charts. We have our product images. Here we have our variants. And down here we have our search engine listing, which is how your website is going to appear on Google. So the first thing I want to show you here is the product images. So if we click on this, here you're going to see Shopify has a built-in AI feature to create photo backgrounds. So if you click on replace background, here you can choose one of these presets, so Studio, for example. Here you describe what your product is. So in our case, it's a t-shirt. And then click on Generate. Now, as you can see here, we have a few different backgrounds that have been generated by Shopify. So I'm going to stick with this one and click on Save. So now we're going to repeat the process and we're going to change the background of these other images so that we have a consistent style. All right, so now I've repeated the process and I've updated the backgrounds for all of these different images. So we have a nice and consistent style in place. So what we're going to do now is upgrade this product description over here. So as I mentioned, we are going to use the size charts in a different way. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a screenshot of this information just so I have it saved. And then I'm going to delete it. All right, so now I'm basically going to change this product description so that it's unique and has our own brand voice. I'm also going to rename the product to Liquid Wave Tea. Okay, now we're going to save our changes. And down here, you can set your product prices inside Shopify for your different variants. So we already set this up inside Printify, so there's nothing that we have to do here. But if you want to change your product prices, that's where you can change them. And if you click here, you're going to see all of the different sizes that we have available. So these are all of our different variants. For white, we have 8 different variants. And for black, we also have 8 different variants. And then down here, we have our search engine listing, which is basically how our store is going to be previewed on platforms like Google. We're just going to leave this as it is for now, as this is something we're going to be editing later when we are starting to do our marketing. So let's go back. And here we can see all the products that we currently have added to our Shopify store. So now I'm going to go back into Printify and I'm going to create more products. So I actually created a few more designs here inside Kittl. So I have all of these designs ready and I've just exported them. So now I'm going to go to Printify. So here I'm going to upload all of my designs. All right, so here we have another design. I'm going to add it here in the middle. See how it looks. Okay, that's not bad. So we're going to use this as an example. I'm just going to move it a little bit more towards the center. There we go. All right, there we have it. So let's save this. And now I'm going to repeat the process to add this product to the store and create more products. All right, so here I have all the products that I've added to my store. Now, for us to organize our catalog, we have to create collections inside Shopify so that we can better structure our navigation in our website. So we're going to go over here to collections. And the first thing you're going to see here is this homepage collection. Now, this is just created automatically by default, but we're not going to need this one. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to click here and we are going to delete it. All right, so now we can start fresh. So the idea behind collections is basically grouping your products into different categories. So for example, if you're selling clothing, you could group them into t-shirts, hoodies, crew necks, long sleeve t-shirts, and so on. Now, if you take that a step further, if you have a large catalog, you're probably also going to need to have subcategories for your catalog. So for example, again, if you're selling clothing, you could also have a collection for all of your tops and another collection for all of your bottoms. So all of your t-shirts and your hoodies would go under your tops, and all of your shorts and pants would go under bottoms. However, the way we structure this inside Shopify is just by creating normal collections for all of these categories. And then we're later going to structure whether it's a main category or a subcategory in our navigation menu. So the idea now is to just create a collection for every category that you can possibly think of. And then we're going to structure if it's a sub or main category in our navigation menu. All right, so let's click on Create Collection. And here we're going to enter the collection title. So the first thing I'm going to create is t-shirts. And here you can enter a collection description. Now, this whole thing is going to be more of a visual display inside Shopify, so you don't necessarily have to enter a description. What is really important though is adding a collection image, because this is what people are basically going to see to click on your collection. So it's like your collection cover basically. So let's click on Add Image. All right. And then down here, you can choose if it's going to be a manual collection or a smart collection. So in a manual collection, you basically just have to add the products one by one. And in the smart collection, you can basically set conditions and your products are going to be added automatically. Now, to keep this whole thing simple, since we are just getting started, we're going to go with a manual collection. So just make sure manual is selected. And then down here is where we can add our products. So let's click on Browse. And now I'm going to add all of my t-shirts. All right, so here we have all the products of this collection. Now over here, you're going to see the sort. So this is basically the order in which these products are going to appear in your online store. So you can choose between all of these different categories. So of course, it is a good idea to have your best-selling products on top. But since we are just starting, we still really don't know what products are going to be the best sellers. So my recommendation is sorting it manually so that you have control over the aesthetic. So the idea here is to create a nice visual layout, and you're gonna have to go back and forth when you're web designing here to see how this order is gonna look in your online store. So automatically here, we can see that we already have some intercalation between the colors. We have the black one, then a white one, then a black one again, and so forth. And this is probably gonna look pretty nice because there's a little bit of contrast going on. If we put all of the white t-shirts next to each other, they're probably not gonna stand out as much. So this is already automatically here, luckily in a good order. Now to reorder it, first we have to save. And now you're gonna see this little button here, so we can just drag and drop it. All right, so after we saved, the product order actually changed. So let's go ahead and reorder this. I'm gonna put this one first, then this white one, black one. Let's try this one. Black one again. Maybe this one now. And something like this. And if it doesn't look good, we can always come back later and change the order of these products. Now down here, you're going to see your search engine listing. So this is basically how this page is going to appear on search engines like Google. So if you want to edit that, you just click here. And you're going to find this across every single collection page, every single product page, and whatever other page you create in your online store. So later on, when we start driving traffic to the store, it's a very good idea that you go over this and that you edit all of your search engine listings. We're going to talk more about SEO in another video, so stick around. All right, now let's hit save and go back. All right, so here we have our first collection. Now I'm basically just going to repeat the process and I'm going to create all of my other collections. Now let's go for hoodies. All right, so here we have our collections. So now that our catalog is ready and organized, we're gonna dive into the theme editor and we're gonna start designing our store. So we're gonna click here on Online Store. And then if we scroll down, here you're gonna see a few different Shopify themes. So we're gonna click on Visit Theme Store. And here we have lots of different themes that we can add to our store. So these are basically ready-made templates that we can use, and we can just very easily customize them and get a very nice look for our online store. So just make sure to browse through this and find something that fits your vision. Now over here, you're gonna see we have free themes and we have paid themes. So if you only want to see the free themes, then click on this. And here we have all of the free themes available. Now, if you want to have a closer look at one of these themes, then you can click on it and click on View Demo Store. So here you can really browse through and have a better feeling for what this could look like. It is possible to do quite a lot with a free theme if you're a creative, but if you have the budget for it, in the paid theme library, you're going to have infinite options. So if you're selling clothing, for example, you could even filter over here by industry. And Shopify is going to recommend you themes that are specifically designed for clothing stores. So we can look at this one, for example. And here we have a really nice template for a clothing store. All right, so now let's go back. Now, if you want to try one of these themes, you can do that for free. You just have to click on Try Theme, and you only would have to pay for it once you decide to publish it. So you could really try and customize all kinds of different paid themes, see how it looks, how it suits your vision, and whenever you're ready, you can actually purchase it and publish it. So there's not really a big commitment here, and you can really explore freely. Now I'm gonna go back to the dashboard. And over here, by default, we already have a theme added to our store, which is Dawn. So in this tutorial, I'm just gonna stick with Dawn. Let's click on Customize. And here we are inside the theme editor. So first things first, let's quickly break down how the theme editor works. So here in the middle, we have our website preview. And here on the sides, we're gonna see two different sidebars. So here you have all of the different sections of your website. For example, here we have our image banner. So if we click here, the settings of the image banner are going to open on the other side. So the sidebar is always going to start with the header section and it's going to finish with the footer section. So this is your header and this is your footer. And in between that, we have all of the online store content. So by default, here we have our image banner. And down here, we also have a featured collection section. Now, if you want to browse different pages of your store, you're gonna go up here. And here you can see the home page, your product pages, collections, and all other options. Now here on the side, we have all of the other additional settings. So the first thing we're gonna do is add a logo. All right, so here we added our logo. Now to change your logo size, you can just drag this and make it a little bit bigger. All right, so that looks pretty good. And then down here, we can also change the font if we want to. So here you can change the font of your titles, and here you can change your small body font. All right, so now let's go back to the sections. And let's go ahead and add a banner image. So let's click on Image Banner. And then up here, you can add your image. So you can either select your own image, or you can also explore the free images inside Shopify. Now, if you want more options than what is available here, you could also go back to Kittl. And over here, you're going to see lots of different free stock photos that you can use. So you could also browse through this and find something that suits your online store aesthetic. Now, I am creating a surfer style clothing store. So what you can do is, instead of having a photo shoot of your own products in the banner, maybe you don't have the budget for that right in the beginning, what you can also do is just find kind of lifestyle images that have something to do with the industry that you're selling in. So let's say if you decided to do a print-on-demand coffee brand, then you could have images of a cozy coffee shop in your banner. So here I'm gonna see if I can find some good surfing images. That's gonna add a bit of a nice vibe to the store. Okay, so I decided to actually go back here and I'm just gonna find something in the Shopify free stock gallery. Let's try this one. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's stick with this one for now. Now here, if you want, you can also add a second banner image. So the whole banner is going to split in two and you're going to have two different photos. So let's try that. This actually looks pretty interesting. So let's try it. Now here in the overlay opacity, you can choose how dark you want this image to be so that your text stands out better. Right now it's set to around 40%. I think that looks pretty good. If you want it any darker, you can just drag it up. And there you're gonna have a little bit more contrast with the title. So let's go back to around 50%. I think 40 was good. All right. And then here you can choose the size of your banner. So right now it's set to large. If you wanted to have the same shape as your original image, you can just click on Adapt to First Image, and it's gonna have the exact same height as your original file. Now here we can choose where the text content position is going to be. So if we choose middle center, for example, there you're gonna see the text move to the top. We're gonna leave it on bottom center. But this is really going to depend on what kind of images you have and how that looks in combination with your text. So feel free to explore with that. All right, now we're going to click on our text block over here. And we can edit this text. So here the idea is to just introduce people to your store. And if you want to, you can also add a description over here. So if you want to do that, you just hover over here and click on Add Block. Now select text. And here we have a text block. Now this is a drag and drop theme editor. So if you want to reorder this, you would just grab this over here and drag it on top. All right, now let's click on this. And over here, we can enter our description. Now Shopify also has a magic AI feature. So if you're not super good at writing, you can also click here to generate text, click on rephrase, and then you can just kind of enter a little bit of information and click on generate. And then down here we have our button. So if you click on it, the button settings are going to open on the other side. And here we can enter our button text and choose where it's going to link to. So at the moment, it just says shop all. I think that's really good, as the idea is to have a call to action that's leading to all of your products here. You could also change it to shop now. And if you want to link to a specific collection, you can also do that over here. I recommend leaving this on all products since this is the big intro of our online store. All right, so now we've made a bit of progress. Let's go ahead and click on save. And if you want to preview how this is looking on full screen, you can click over here. And there you're gonna have a full screen look of your store. Now this banner is actually looking pretty gigantic now that we're on full screen. So let's go back here and we're gonna click on the banner. And let's quickly change the banner height to medium. Let's see how that looks once again. And here we have something a bit more balanced. I think this actually looks really good. So let's go back, hit save. And let's move on to our next section. Now down here, as you can see, we already have a featured collection section. And here we can see the title says featured products. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete this. I'm just gonna leave no title. I think that looks a little bit more interesting here. And if you want to change what collection is showing here, you can also go over here to collection. And here you can select a different one. So just click on replace. And here we have different collections. So let's see if we put t-shirts. There you're going to see all of your t-shirts. Now remember, I mentioned that you can change the order of your products in your collection settings. So as we can see here, we have two white products next to each other. It's not terrible, but it would probably look a little bit more interesting if we could change the order of this. So I'm gonna hit save real quick. I'm gonna go back to my dashboard. I'm gonna click on products, go to collections, go to my tops collection. And then here I'm gonna sort manually. And I'm gonna change the order of these products once again. So the idea is to start with your best looking products. So whatever products you think is going to sell the most, whatever your best designs are, it's ideal that you move that to the front of your online store, since you are looking to build a very good first impression of your store. So we're gonna drag this one up and just start intercalating the colors a little bit here. All right, Now this is saved automatically, so you can just go back to online store. And we're going to click on customize to go back to the theme editor. All right, so now let's scroll down here. And as you can see, we have a different order in our products. So let's go ahead and let's add the next website section. We're going to click over here on add section. And here you can choose which kind of section you want to add. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add another image banner. And that's going to help create a bit of variation here and create some contrast between this section and whatever comes afterwards. So let's go ahead and choose an image. And a second image as well. Now, I actually want to remove this white square here, so I'm going to go to Show Container on Desktop, and I'm going to remove it. All right, now as you can see, our font on top has a black color, which is not very easily visible. So to change that, we're going to go here to Color Scheme. We're going to select one of these other ones. And if you want to choose a color that's not available here, then you can go over here to your theme settings and you can add another color scheme. Now I'm going to make the image opacity a little bit darker again. And then we're going to fill in the content. So let's click on the text block. And here I'm going to enter a nice sentence about my store. All right, so now let's click on the text block. And here we're going to enter a quick description. And then down here on buttons, we can change our button settings. So right now we have two different buttons, and here we have the two different settings for those buttons. So if you want to delete one of them, you can just get rid of the title like this, and it's going to disappear. So now let's add Shop Now. And here I'm going to link once again to all products. Now you can also choose an outline button style over here, and it's going to look like the one on top. So I do recommend that you have a consistent style for your buttons. So if you're going for an outline button, make sure that it's consistent everywhere. Now let's hit save and let's see how it looks on full screen. All right, looking good. So let's go ahead and add another section. Now we're going to add a collection list. So this is going to display a few different collections that your audience can then click on. So that's going to create a nice navigation flow. First thing I'm going to do is delete the title over here. And then I'm going to click here on the first block and add my first collection. Now I'm going to click on the second block and add the second collection. All right, now let's repeat the process for the third one. And here we have it. If you want to reorder this, you can just drag and drop. And this looks pretty good. Now, if you have more collections that you want to show, you can also hover over here and click on Add Collection. So that's going to show another block for you. Now, the layout looks a little bit strange here. We have 3 and then just 1 on the bottom. So if you want to fix that, you're going to click again on Collection List. And then over here, we have a setting named Number of Columns on Desktop. So this is basically referring to how many images are going to be next to each other here. So if we increase that to 4, now we have 4 different collections next to each other. So let's go ahead and add the final one. And here we have it. All right, now over here, as you can see, we have this View All button. So let's go back here to this section settings. We're going to click on Featured Collection, and that's going to open the settings for this section over here. Now over here we have View All Style, which is the button down here. And right now it's set to solid button. So if you want to change the style of this button, this is where you can do that. There we have the outline button style, or you can also go for something a little bit more minimalistic like the link. All right, I actually like this one, so let's stick with that. And here, if you want, you can also customize your column settings. So over here, for example, we can change the columns to 3, and the products are going to be a little bit bigger. You can also change it all the way to 5, and they're going to be smaller. So I'm just going to leave it where it was at 4. All right, now down here, let's add another section. Let's go for a featured product. Let's click up here to select the product. And here we have it. Now you're gonna see this yellow button over here. This is just the dynamic checkouts button. So right now my browser is just noticing that I'm logged into PayPal, so it's showing me this Express PayPal button by default. So don't worry about this. Your customers are not necessarily going to see this unless they're logged into PayPal. If you want to disable that, you go over here to Buy Buttons and you untick this box. I'm just gonna leave it off for the sake of this tutorial so it looks a little bit nicer. Now let's click on the featured product section. And here I'm going to change the background's color just to create a little bit of variation in the background. All right, that looks a little bit better. Let's try black. Okay. I think this looks pretty good. Let's stick with dark. And let's add the next section. So now I'm going to add another featured collection. And this time we're going to add another one. Let's remove the title. And over here, we're going to choose the collection. Now there's also a feature here called Enable Carousel on Desktop. Now I'm going to increase the maximum products showing. I'm going to remove the View All button. And then we're going to take this setting over here, Enable Carousel on Desktop. So that's going to create this nice little scrolling function over here. Now let's hit save and repeat the process to add a few more sections. So here I've added another banner image and the home page is ready. So let's click on save. Now let's have a look at our product pages. So we're going to click over here and select products. Now click on default product. So here we have our product page. As you can see, we have our product images, our product description, and then down here we have this product recommendation section. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the layout of these images. So let's click on product information. And then here on desktop layout, we're going to choose thumbnails. All right, so now we have the little thumbnails down here. That's a little bit easier to look at. I'm just going to disable this yellow button here once again so it looks a little bit nicer. All right, so by default, this is what all of your product pages are going to look like unless you create custom product pages. So if you go up here, you're going to see that this template is currently assigned to 17 products, which at the moment is all of my products. So if we make any changes here in this template, it's going to apply to all of these 17 products. So if you want to create custom product pages for each product, which is definitely highly recommended, then I'm going to leave another video linked down below showing you exactly how to do that. For now, we're just going to leave this as it is and we're going to click on save. Now, when we added the first product to the store, we had a size guide from Printify. So if you are selling clothing, it's going to be very advisable that you have a size guide that your customers can look at so that they order the right size and you're not dealing with lots of returns. So instead of just adding the size guide here to our product description, we're actually going to use a Shopify app to display this in a more user-friendly way. So let's go back to the dashboard and then we're going to go to apps. Now we're going to search for Kiwi. And we're going to use this app over here called Kiwi Size Chart and Recommender. So this is going to help us create a very nice looking size chart, which is going to improve your customer experience. So let's click on install and on install once again. And here we are, welcome to the app. So let's click on get started. And here, as you can see, we have the option to create a size chart. If you want to, you can upload your store logo. And here we have a little logo in the side. I also recommend you change this to your brand color. Right now, I'm just going to keep it simple and I'm going to leave it black. So that's going to look a little bit more cohesive with the online store. Here you also get the option to display both US imperial and also metric unit measurements. So keep in mind, if you're not selling in US, people have different measurements in other countries. So you're going to need also to add the metric unit measurements. All right, so now let's click on finish. And here we have to enable the Kiwi extension so that this is actually visible in our online store. So let's click on enable extension. And then here we can see that this app has been added to our sections. Let's just drag this over here. All right, now let's go back and let's click on add a new size chart. So here we have a few different templates to start with. I'm gonna go with tops. And here we have the size range. So right now we have XS, S, M, and L. So go ahead and enter your sizes. And here you can enter the measurements. So these are these columns visible over here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open Printify in another tab. And we're gonna go here to my products. And here in our product listing, we have our size charts details. So we basically just wanna copy and paste this information into the Kiwi size charts app. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I'm gonna add in all the numbers. Okay, so I've added all of the sizes now. And what's nice about this is that we can automatically convert the units. So over here, we can convert from inches to centimeters if we want to. All right. Here you can also add the country size to make things more user-friendly. And here you can also add a title. All right. Now let's click on save. And here we have to choose some product matching conditions so that this is actually visible in our store. So to simplify it, we basically just have to choose what products we want this to appear in. So this is the size charts that I want to use for all of my t-shirts. So I'm going to choose collections and t-shirts. All right, now let's hit save. And here we have it. Now, if you want to, you can go all the way and customize all of these things. You can change the image that's showing here. You can also change the text and all of this information. Now let's go back to our store. And here, as you can see, we have the size chart icon that's been added automatically. So if we click on it, this is going to open up and your customers can super visually choose what size they want to order. So yeah, this is like super amazing for print on demand. I highly recommend using this app. So if you are selling clothing, I'm going to leave it linked here below the video. Now let's click here on plan. And here, as you can see, we're currently on a 14-day free trial. So in this plan, we can publish up to 2 size charts. We get the dynamic size charts, full style customization, and automatic unit conversion. Now, if you go for one of these other plans, you're gonna be able to publish more size charts. So in premium, you get up to 10 size charts. You get advanced layout designs, location-based unit detection, which is basically going to convert the units for your customers automatically based on where they're browsing. You get Google Analytics integration and 7-day in-app analytics. And if you're already going for a higher volume, you can go for either their Plus or Ultimate plans. So you get access to more size charts that you can publish and a few other advanced features. Now, I also want to show you their recommender tool because this is actually really, really interesting and it can also elevate your customer experience. So let's click on try it for free. And here we're going to approve the subscription. All right, so now that we have upgraded our subscription, we also have access to this size recommender feature, which is basically going to be using AI to recommend products to your viewers. So if you want to do that, you can click on create a size recommender and choose one of these options. So this is what your size recommender would look like. The customer gets to enter their age, their gender, their weight and height, and it's automatically going to suggest products based on this information. So again, that can really help elevate the customer experience as well. So if you have the budget for it, I highly recommend going with this option. Whenever you're ready, just click on save and your size charts are ready. Now let's go back to the theme editor. And here, as we can see, we have the What's My Size feature, which is basically the AI product recommender. So if they click on it, they can now add their age, their gender, weight, and height, and it's going to recommend products. And over here, we have the size chart, which is just really nice to look at. So this is definitely a great addition to the store. All right, so here we are in our homepage once again. Now, as you can see, we still don't have a navigation menu. Right now we have just home, catalog, and contact. So over here, we have to add our collections. So let's go back to the dashboard. And then down here, we're gonna click on navigation. And it looks like Shopify just moved it over here to content. And here we have our navigation menus. So let's click on main menu. And here we can add our menu items. So the idea here is to add a menu item for each of your collections so that they are very easily accessible. So I'm gonna enter t-shirts. And here I'm gonna link to my t-shirts collection. Next one. And click on save. Now, if you have a lot of different menu items, you can also drag and drop this to create subcategories. So for example, if you wanted to, you could drag t-shirts under all products. Same for hoodies. and crew necks. And if you want to go a level further, you can also create a subcategory by dragging it one step further. I'm just gonna leave it normal for now since I don't have that many collections. But if you do have a high amount of menu items, it's definitely recommended so that it's easy to look at and your customers have a more logical browsing flow. And if you want to reorder this, you can also just drag and drop like this. Now let's click on save. And if we go back to our store, here we can now see all of the menu items. So if we click on all products, it should link to all of the products. Likewise for the other collections. So this is working pretty well. All right, so our website is ready. Now, what's also recommended here is adding a pop-up to the store so that your customers can sign up for discounts and you can encourage them to purchase. So to create pop-ups, we're going to be using a platform called Omnisend, which I'm also going to leave linked here in the description. So Omnisend is basically an email marketing platform. You can use it to create email automations, to add pop-ups to your store, and also to add reviews to your store. The platform is very, very easy to use. It's super beginner friendly, and it also has a lot of advanced features. We're going to go over this again in the end of the video, as we will be discussing different strategies you can use to get customers. But for now, I definitely also recommend using Omnisend to add a pop-up to your store, as that can really help you in building your first sales. This is also actually how I got my first sale. It was with a pop-up like this, offering a 20% off on your first order. Somebody signed up for the discounts and they ended up buying something. So there's something very powerful to this. So once again, Omnisend is going to be linked here below the video. And to set up everything, I also have another tutorial that you can follow where I show you exactly how to design the pop-ups, how to add them to your store, and how to create your first email automations. So that's going to be really, really helpful. So make sure to check out this other video in the description. All right, we're almost there. So now we're going to go over the backend settings of Shopify. We're going to set up our shipping, our markets, our payments, and some of our checkout settings. So we're going to click down here on settings. And the first thing we're going to do is set up payments. As you can see here, we have one option, which is using Shopify payments. And down here, we also have the option to add different payment methods. So by default, we have PayPal. That's definitely going to be a good option as well. And over here, we have more payment methods. So if you click on it, here you can search for different providers. Now, since we are starting an e-commerce business, it is going to be ideal that at some point you establish a company if you haven't already. So if you already have a registered business, then I highly recommend using Airwallex as your payment gateway. This is an excellent option and it's available in a lot of different countries. They do everything in local currencies, so this is an excellent option for e-commerce since you're going to be selling in different countries. And they also have different kinds of business solutions that might come in handy. So if you want to use Airwallex, I'm going to leave a link here below the video. Now we're going to click on checkout. And then down here on customer information, we can choose what information we're going to require from our customers when they are at checkout. So here by default, you will see only require last name, but we're actually going to change it to require first and last name, since later on we're going to be setting up different email marketing automations, and it's going to be really helpful to have their first names so that we can set up something more personalized. And down here under shipping address phone number, we're going to put required, since a lot of countries will legally require a phone number in order to ship a product. So just make sure this is ticked and then click on save up here. Now we're going to go to markets. And here you can basically choose which countries you're going to be selling to. So if you want to sell to a lot of different countries, you're going to click here on international. And then over here, you're going to click on edit markets. Now click on edit once again. And here you can select all of the countries that you want to sell to. So just a heads up, if a country is not selected, when a person from that country goes to checkout, they are not going to see their country in the shipping options. So if you want to sell worldwide, make sure to go over this and select the right countries. Once that's ready, we're going to click on active and save. All right, now go back. And here you're also going to see your primary markets, which is by default going to be set to your current location or the address that you have currently set in your store settings. Now we're going to click on shipping and delivery. And here we can configure all of our shipping settings. So the shipping settings are structured into 3 main categories. We have shipping profiles, which are basically groups of products. And inside each profile, we have our shipping zones, which are groups of countries we're going to ship to. And inside each zone, we also have our shipping rates, which are basically our shipping prices. So by default, you're going to have here a general shipping profile. And down here, you're also going to have your Printify automatic shipping profile that's already been created for you. So this is going to make our lives so much easier. So if you're selling with Printify, you don't really have to do anything here. All of your shipping profiles are going to be created automatically. Now, if you want to change your shipping prices for each of these groups of products, you're going to have to click on these profiles and enter your specific settings. So for example, here we have our t-shirts. So here you're going to see all of the products that are included in this shipping profile. And down here we have the shipping zones, which are the groups of countries that we're going to be shipping these products to. So here, for example, we have Australia in this shipping zone. And we also have conditional shipping activated, which means that Shopify is basically going to calculate the shipping price based on the product weight. So if it's between 0 pounds and 0.22 pounds, it's going to cost $12.49 and so on. So if you want to change this, you just click over here on Edit Rates and you can enter your own shipping price. Same for all of these other zones down here. Now, you also might be wondering how to add free shipping. So obviously adding free shipping is going to help you increase your sales. It's a very attractive offer, and there are 2 different ways to set this up inside Shopify. One option is just going over here to Edit Rate and entering 0 as your shipping price. As you can see now, it says free over here. So if we click on Save, now we have free standard shipping. However, this is not the smartest way to do this. It's actually better to reverse this and just leave it how it was, and then create a shipping discount in front of it. So if you want to learn how to do that and why that is a much better idea, then I'm gonna leave this other video linked for you down below. All right, so now we're gonna click on Save. And then down here, we're gonna go to Domains. So basically your domain is like your URL. And by default, it's just going to be set to a random combination of characters. Now, if you want to, you can change to a .myshopify.com domain for free, but your shop would end with .myshopify.com, which is not very professional. So to have a fully custom URL, you're going to need to purchase a domain. And if you want to keep this as simple as possible without any complicated configurations, then you can just click over here on Buy New Domain. And you can buy a domain inside Shopify for $15 per year. So you can just search if it's available and you can click on Buy. Now, as you can see, you're going to have different prices depending on what the domain is going to end with. We have .com, .net, .org, .store, and so forth. But there's actually a possibility to do all of this for a cheaper price with a platform called Namecheap, which I'm also going to leave linked here below the video. So inside Namecheap, you can get the exact same domain for a much lower cost. It's going to cost around $5 per year. So if you want to do that, Namecheap is going to be linked here below the video. So once you have purchased your Namecheap domain, you can just click on Connect Existing Domain over here and follow the instructions on their platform. For now, I'm just going to go with a .myshopify domain, as this is just a tutorial. And here we have it. Now, the last thing we have to do here is go to policies. And we have to create some of these policies so that our store complies with all regulations. So you're basically just going to go over this, click on Insert Templates, and publish it. So now repeat the process for these other policies. And then we're going to close the settings. Click over here. Go to menus, and we're going to add these policies to our footer menu so that they are accessible and our store, again, complies with all regulations. So let's click on footer menu, click on add menu item, and here we're going to enter our policies. Click on save, and here we have it. So now if we go back to our online store, down here, we're going to click on footer, click on add block, and click on menu. Now, as you can see here, we have the footer menu selected and our links are showing. So now the online store is completely ready. We're going to click on save. And we are ready to start driving some traffic here and getting customers. So now let's go over how to actually start selling. All right, so to start selling, first things first, let's remove our online store password so that it's actually accessible by everyone on the internet. Let's click here. And your online store is now open to everyone. Congratulations for making it this far. However, the journey does not end here. Your sales are not just gonna fall from the sky. We actually have to now start driving traffic to our store to get customers. So there are a few different strategies that you can use to drive traffic to your store. Some of these strategies are going to be free and others are going to be paid. So the main free ways to drive traffic to your store are content marketing, which would include posting short videos and photos of your products on social media. So you're looking to really start building a brand and online presence on platforms like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. And the other option is working on SEO. So SEO is basically a way to optimize your online store to rank better on platforms like Google. And this has a lot to do with something called keywords. So when somebody is searching for black t-shirt on Google, for example, there are certain things that you can do to your online store to help it rank better when that keyword is searched for. So the whole process is called SEO. It's a completely free strategy, but it does take a little bit of time. So if you want to learn more about SEO, I'm going to leave a few resources for you in the description. And of course, the fastest way to drive traffic to your store is running ads. I also have a step-by-step TikTok ads tutorial that you can follow, which I'm also going to leave linked here in the description. And like I mentioned earlier, it is really advisable that you have a pop-up installed in your online store so that you can start collecting subscriber emails and then also use that to do email marketing. So a lot of your sales are going to come from email marketing. This is a very, very important strategy that you should definitely have in place. So once again, if you still haven't added a pop-up to your store, I'm going to leave Omnisend linked here below, along with a step-by-step tutorial that you can follow to set everything up. And of course, if you still haven't signed up for Shopify, I'm also going to leave the best current deal for getting started down in the description. Right now it's at $1 for your first 3 months. I'm also excited to tell you that I've recently launched a complete Shopify store optimization course. So if you've already set up your store, you're starting to drive traffic and the sales just aren't really coming in, then I highly, highly recommend you check out this course. I have packed it with so much value and just really easy step-by-step mini episodes that you can follow to completely optimize your store and take it to a very, very professional level. We're going over lots of different powerful strategies like creating offers, and I'm really guiding you step-by-step through it so you really understand all of the concepts and also how to implement them on Shopify. So this is going to be really, really useful. I'm also going over a lot of common beginner mistakes and just showing you tons of strategies to help you optimize your store for its highest chance of success. The last thing you want is to spend a bunch of money driving traffic to your store, paying for ads, only to see that the traffic is not converting and nothing is selling. So it's really important that you have a proper professional online store so that the traffic actually turns into sales. So that's exactly what that course is going to be about. It's really getting your store to a very professional level so you don't waste money advertising and you really maximize all of your budget. We also have an exclusive community that you can join where you get to post things and ask questions, engage with others, and even receive one-on-one guidance from me and my team. So I'm super, super excited to see you guys inside the course and walk you through all of this amazing transformation. So if you want to sign up, I'm going to leave a link here below the video as well. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop them here below the video and I'm going to do my best to help you out. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. It's going to be super, super appreciated. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.